FM, The Source.
Thank you for tuning in. This past weekend, we took a walk at Shalom Gardens.
Yep.
Shalom Park
Shalom
or Gardens?
Park.
So I always mess it up.
Has
okay.
the garden.
Hey, it's a beautiful garden called Shalom Park. Anyway, there's a statue in there, and it's a statue of an engineer, it looks like, and he's holding open like a big set of paper or something like that, like the plans probably for the community or whatever. And in his pocket, I mean, you can walk right up to the statue. It's very easy to get to. And in his pocket, his shirt pocket, he's got a package of cigarettes. And I thought, well, that's unusual that the sculptor decided to. I wonder who this guy is. And it does say his name, but it doesn't give you much information. It certainly doesn't tell you about the cigarettes. So anyway, this morning, coincidentally, we had the nephew of the man who started the On Top of the World community, which is where this is, for those local people, you all know that. And the gentleman who is depicted in the statue, who is no longer with us, was instrumental in designing On Top of the World and so many other things. Anyway, so he died of heart disease.
Ray Funk was his name.
Thank you. He died of heart disease, attributed to smoking, right? Now, have you ever heard that? Heart disease attributed to smoking.
Yeah.
Dr. Clyde Yancy is on the phone. He probably can relate to that, probably has seen plenty of that. He's the chief of cardiology at Northwestern University Feinberg School of Medicine. He's the associate director of the Bloom Cardiovascular Institute at Northwestern Memorial Hospital and past president of the American Heart Association. February, as you probably know, is American Heart Month, and he's going to give us some information about some research and the future of heart disease. It says here the digital future. I wonder what that is. Good morning, Dr. Clyde Yancy. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Larry. I'm delighted to be with you.
Where are you? Where are you?
I am at a studio in Chicago near the campus of Northwestern.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for being on there. How's the weather up there? I heard it was snowing in New York. Is this
single digits with wind chills in the negative, and everybody's moving very slowly. This is a prototypical Chicago winter. Be happy you're in Orlando today.
Yeah, it's 80 degrees here, Doctor. Are you sure you don't want to come down?
I actually have a number of patients that move to Florida every winter, and I know why.
We went to this park. We saw this statue. You probably heard the intro. The man in the statue apparently died of heart disease from smoking, and the sculptor decided to keep the cigarettes in his pocket. I guess that was his trademark. I guess he always had them.
So you actually give me a good opportunity because it's a beautiful segue into first the obvious, that smoking is in fact a cause of heart disease. But more importantly, and this is where the key emphasis is, there are decisions we make, there are lifestyles we adopt that consistently put us at risk for heart disease, but also give us opportunities to lower that risk, and instead of fearing heart disease, to anticipate decades of future health and prosperity by simply recognizing that things that we do volitionally, choices we make, directly impact our health. In his case, it was smoking, but for some people today, it may be physical inactivity, or the foods you eat, or alcohol to thresholds and levels more than you should. But the really important message about that vignette that you so nicely shared with us is that we all make decisions about our lifestyle that may ultimately influence our health, and that's the opportunity for change.
And could a lifestyle change affect your likelihood to have heart disease if it's in your genetics? We always hear it could be genetic, but can we actually do something about that?
So, Larry, let me give you two quick statements. The first is that 80% of heart disease is preventable, regardless of your genetics. But the other piece of this is that even if your genetics are such that you are predisposed to have heart disease, and that is a real phenomenon, we are who our parents were, even in that scenario, incorporating lifestyle changes significantly reduces the likelihood of those genetics leading to overt heart disease. There are some dramatic situations that we really can't change, but those are rare. for the most part, the genetic conditions that we do acknowledge require exposure to other elements in our environment, our diet, our lifestyle, that make those genes manifest themselves as diseases. So across the board, these issues of prevention are important. More risk in those that are genetically predisposed, but also more opportunity.
We hear heart patients, they have heart monitors and that type of nature. And there was a statement in here about the digital world. How is that helping people with their hearts and diagnosing the problem?
Yeah, but I think this is Robin, and isn't that exciting, Robin, that we are getting to a point where healthcare is no longer about waiting for the appointment to happen weeks from now, waiting in the waiting room for an hour and a half, having 8 or 10 minutes in the office and walking away and saying, what just happened? We're making it so that the real-time communications happen more effortlessly using electronic health records that provide for this bidirectional conversation, posting questions, getting answers, providing feedback. Think about wearable technologies. Yes, we all started by counting steps, but now we can use these technologies to monitor the heart rhythm. We will soon be able to use these technologies to measure the blood pressure, and then we can report the rhythms and the blood pressure into provider offices where decisions can be made distantly, remotely.
Wow.
We're even doing something dramatically using telemedicine. We can diagnose strokes from 100 miles away if we can get a video image of the patient in an ambulance, transmit it to a smartphone, and make that diagnosis 100 miles away and start the therapies right away.
Wow. And that's because they have information that gets to you somehow about their heartbeat? It can't just be the picture. You can't just look at a person, or can you?
Well, think about this. A trained neurologist who's using technology not dissimilar from FaceTime is able to observe a patient, observe their response to directions or questions, and be comfortable making a diagnosis, because the earlier you start treating a stroke, the better the outcomes are. And this is just the beginning. Larry, we are just at the edge now of bringing digital technologies into medicine, into healthcare. And once we do that, it'll be a bold new world. And I'm looking forward to that.
Wow, that is so promising. Doctor, it's such a short interview, but I know you have lots more information. Can you direct us to a website?
Yes, please visit our website, which is Northwestern Medicine's website, or nm.org/radio, where you can listen to what you and I have talked about today. But also, the American Heart Association has an incredibly robust online set of resources. You can find the answers to any of your questions. Go to these trusted sources, nm.org/radio. Get your questions answered. Have the knowledge to make a difference.
Thank you, Doctor. Dr. Clyde Yancy, you have probably just saved some lives just by doing this little interview. Thank you for doing that and for taking time out of your day. We will take a little break. We'll be right back.
Get it for less at the DIY Home Center outlet. Get top quality real wood cabinets the same or less than the big box stores are selling the cheap stuff. And that's not all. Drywall screws big box stores are $6.47 a pound. At DIY, only $4.99. Plus, DIY has the largest selection of mobile home parts and accessories anywhere. From carpet to doors, get the DIY supplies you need for less. The DIY Home Center outlet. We are your building material closeout store. 2191 Northwest 10th Street, just 2 miles east of I-75.
Howdy, folks. RL here for Dairy Queen again to tell you about what's hot and what's not. Dairy Queen has some of the best char-grilled chicken breasts on earth, as well as their chicken breast salad. And the burgers are exceptional, cooked on a real grill for the best flavor and less fat. And for dessert, blizzards are unequaled. Personally, banana split is my all-time favorite. Dairy Queen Silver Springs, where we always treat you like kings and queens.
The College of Central Florida is committed to being your first choice for quality higher education. CF has locations in Marion, Citrus, and Levy counties and offers more than 60 academic programs. Earn a certificate, associate, or bachelor's degree. With Florida's 2+2 program, a student can complete an associate in arts at CF and be guaranteed admission to a state of Florida university. CF is ranked number 13 in the U.S. for affordability, is military friendly, and offers a full student life experience. Make CF your first choice. Call 352-873-5800. Here are today's headlines from The Source. WOCA, the Ocala City Council voted yesterday to buy the parking lot at Northwest 1st Avenue and Northwest 3rd Street. The parcel is currently owned by Marion County, and city officials say they could use the property in their redevelopment efforts. $580,000 is expected to exchange hands between the City Council and the Marion County Commission to turn the parking lot into, well, a parking lot. The parking lot is currently the site where Streetlight Ministries and Streets Are Talking Ministries offer meals and hygiene supplies to homeless people twice each week. Ocala Mayor Kent Gwynn expressed concern that city ownership of the parking lot might usher the ministry to move their feeding efforts to the downtown square.
Falcon Heavy hitting the space on our test flight, building on the history of Saturn V Apollo.
That's the sound over at Kennedy Space Center yesterday as the SpaceX Falcon Heavy rose into the sky to huge cheers of the crowds, successfully lifting off from the launch pad yesterday afternoon. SpaceX designed Falcon Heavy to carry humans into space for possible missions to the moon or Mars. A bill that would have let pharmacists test and treat for the flu or strep infections died yesterday in a state Senate committee meeting. Doctors complained that the bill would let patients skip doctor's visits and that diagnosis at a pharmacy could leave some patients at risk if they had complications that a pharmacist could not treat. Another state Senate committee in Tallahassee approved a ban on free speech zones at Florida colleges and universities.
The sponsor of the bill, Senator Dennis Baxley, says he wants to get rid of free speech zones on campus because they're designed to limit unpopular speech. But when Senator Perry Thurston asked for an example, Baxley didn't have one.
Can you tell me what is it that's going on at these institutions that would necessitate this bill?
I'm looking at it on a very broad way. This is not about an incident. This is not about a problem per se.
The ACLU says this bill will have a chilling effect on free speech because universities and colleges could be sued by controversial speakers if they're interrupted by protesting students who simply boo too loudly. Rick Flagg, Tallahassee.
The latest Mason-Dixon poll on the governor's race shows that while Adam Putnam has an edge over his Republican competitors, undecided remains the favorite by a large margin.
Adam Putnam is at 27%. Ron DeSantis is at 23%.